Ludo is one of those games that can be polarizing. It is fundamentally a psychological horror game, a walking simulator with puzzles similar in the vein of Resident Evil and Silent Hill, but also very different. Ludo is a game where you play as Sam, a man desperately seeking solace from his perceived past failures. And don't worry, I'm not going to introduce spoilers. This game, I'm not going to lie, was extremely frustrating in many sequences. No! I found myself struggling to fulfill the requirements for several puzzles and constantly ended up getting roadblocks, spending 30 minutes or sometimes more looking for the one hidden thing I was meant to do.
You are ready to move on.
I would like to! After the third or fourth time, I just gave up. Alright, I'm fucking just goddamn over it. Defeated, I went to Steam support and requested a refund. I hadn't yet gotten to the place where this game I feel is truly special. Luckily enough, Steam declined my refund as I exceeded the playtime requirement for returning the game. And god damn it, I was going to get my money's worth. Fucking hard out here, man. Determined to do so, I resigned my mental fortitude at puzzle solving and decided to just look up the solution. Once I found what I had missed, the rest of the pieces I had collected fell into place like clockwork. Now, to be fair, in this game's defense, I was streaming it. I had multiple priorities while playing the game. I was focused on trying to deliver engaging content, trying to grow my channel.
What with those fucking ghosties? You better keep your eyes peeled, motherfucker!
And make my time worthwhile, as it is limited. And as a small creator, this definitely took priority to me over the game's mechanics and nuances that left me with that bitter taste. So, as such, I think this really impacted my ability to actually solve the puzzles that I got frustrated with and made me want to return it. However, the meat of what impresses me the most about this game is its approach to mental health. Now, contrary to many games, this game puts the perspective of mental health in a paradoxical way that reveals underlying characteristics that I believe are a core aspect of many common mental health issues. Now, I'm not a doctor, but I am an individual that suffers from these stresses and is typically conflicted with them day to day. And if you're like me, you know just how delicate the balance is for maintaining a healthy mental state is, while operating under the constant stressors of life, like work, time cards, and relationships. Ludo excels at putting this into perspective by delivering a pivotal conversation towards the end of the game. Throughout the latter half, the logic implied in this conversation is in practice, as you can clearly see those same mechanisms in the game development's design choices and remarks. By playing, you'll understand what I mean. So let me expand a little bit more of what excites me and why I think the developer hit the target with this topic. Sometimes discrete words like voices in your head can paint pictures of schizophrenia or like polarizing auditory hallucinations that seem to be external from the body. But oftentimes, for many of us, I believe it points to this illusory self we identify on a day-to-day basis. This illusory self, more than capable of being your best friend or your worst enemy. So what do I mean by that? The illusory self. I mean the dialogue that can run through your head, whether that's pictures, words, or any reasoning applied to decision-making and understanding concepts or ideas. With making decisions and judgment, the mind allows thoughts or ideas to permeate through the surface in which we attach to. Those attachments are what characterize our perspective and shift the way we think. Have a bad day? The next 48 minutes could be miserable. Or the next 48 hours. Or, if on a whim, the internal shift occurs, happiness, presentness. Your mind follows those things. The loss of identification occurs. And in that state of being, the problems we worry about in the future are not present. The mirages of past mistakes, not present. The feeling of existing itself is all that is present. And in that, one can find acceptance. Now, I'm not going to try and be a guru to tell you that this is some self-help formula you can put to practice. But what I will say is in the absence of desire, meaning the absence of wanting something different, as well as not wanting something different, this sensation emerges because you get to a point to where you realize you can't change any of it. And there was never really anything to change. See, like, truth be told, I get bummed out easily. I'm very permeable to my environment and thinking. Regimented practice, meditation, and self-help be damned. This world is filled with cyclical cycles of ups and downs. Contrast indisputably But in that same essence, you can find what life is really about, and sometimes that's just accepting yourself. That's what I think Ludo does a great job at expressing in this game, with its elements of storytelling, environment, and dialogue. I'm trying to grow my channel, so if you enjoyed, please leave a like. Not all of my content will be like this, so don't subscribe expecting it. I'm just sharing my thoughts. Hope you are well, stay safe, and Godspeed.